Hi everyone, welcome to Erin's Tasty Heritage. I'm going to get dinner started and I thought I would bring you along with me. We're going to do something really simple. Today or last Thursday I made pork butt, and so I had some left over, so we're going to make it into a soup tonight. Now when I make my pork butt, I do not cook it in barbecue sauce. I do it in a tomato sauce. So, and I've got my burner turned on. So it does not have a barbecue flavor. So it actually makes it easy to translate it or to change it up a little bit and put it into a different type of flavor profile. So we're gonna do a pulled pork Mexican style soup. We're going to start with a large onion, and I'm just going to dice that up. And so I start by just cutting the ends off and then just making a slit to get that top layer of onion off. I had my pot on the burner and it took me too long to get my camera set up. So I'm going to move my pot back over. It's got 2 tablespoons of oil in it. And so now I'm going to dice the onion. And I just, let's see here. Can you see? Okay, you can see that. Okay, so I just have the core on the bottom, and then I do a cut down, not all the way to the bottom, so it keeps the onion together. And then just tuck your fingernails in when you get to that part. Then I flip it here. See, it's still all intact. Then I do a almost to the back of the onion. I do, well, I think you can see. Then I do a cut this way. And then when you chop it, you've got a great little dice. So then this part is not chopped, so I just then run my knife to chop that. I'm going to do the exact same thing with this onion. Okay. Then I'm just going to get a wooden spoon and just kind of stir these onions. I'm not going to add any salt right now. I have it on medium low. That oil was just hot. I had 2 tablespoons of avocado oil in there. And we're going to get a good little char on those onions. Then I've got 4 garlic cloves. And I'm just going to kind of, let me put you back down again. I'm just going to take just lay the garlic clove down with the blade away from me. I'm just going to kind of smash that clove, and it allows the skin to come off. So you lay the garlic clove flat, the blade away from you, and then you just put a little pressure on the clove. Keep stirring those onions while you're doing this. And if you wanted to, you could have this stuff prepped before you started. I'm going to be honest, I literally just figured out what I was going to make. I have been wondering all day what I was going to make. And it's just kind of a dreary, overcast, cloudy, misty day here in North Texas. And so I thought, we're just going to have some soup. So now I'm cutting them in half and then cutting them long ways, and then I'm going to chop them. But I'm going to make the dice a little bit bigger because the bigger the garlic, when you're going to saute it the way we are going to, it will not burn as fast. And I don't like burnt garlic. So you can see I've got it chunky. And I'm going to go ahead and put that in there. And my onions are not ready yet. Okay. All right. So we're going to stir those onions. Now I'm going to go wash my hands from doing that garlic and onion. And we're going to just keep letting these get, they're translucent right now. Okay. So the onions and garlic are just right where I want them. They are translucent with just a hint of caramelization. So that's what we're going for. So now I'm going to put in the spices. I have a tablespoon of chili powder, half a teaspoon of pepper, a teaspoon of salt, 2 teaspoons of paprika, 1 teaspoon of cumin, and 1 teaspoon of Mexican oregano. So I'm just going to put those in the pot and start letting those spices open up and start flavoring the onions. Then at the same time, I'm going to do 4 tablespoons of tomato paste, which is pretty much the rest of my tube. So I'm just going to squeeze my tube in. Okay, and so then I'm just going to let that cook and let that tomato paste open up and get ready to absorb the broth. Now, once I've let that just, maybe for just a minute, just let that, then I'm going to pour in a can of Rotel. And that will kind of help that tomato paste. And then I'm going to open up a can of diced tomatoes and put that in. And let that stir. And then I'm going to let that come to a simmer and just kind of soak up all of the yumminess. Let that juice and the tomato paste and all of the spices just kind of get into that pot. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to need a can of white navy beans or northern beans. I guess you could do cannelli too. These are beans that I canned, but it would be a 50. Okay, so now I'm going to add a can of beans, and because I've canned these, I am not going to rinse them. I know that there's only half a teaspoon of salt. If you want to, if you're using canned beans, then I would rinse them just because there is a little more sodium. But you do not have to if you do not want to. That's totally your preference. Okay, And then I'm going to get our shredded pork in there. And it is a good amount. And I've already shredded it, so that work is done for me. It has a little bit of fat in it that's just kind of congealed. And I really don't want all that fat in my soup. So I'm gonna try to I don't know if I can get it off or not. Okay, I got a little bit of it off. All right, then you're just going to kind of get that stirred in. Not very much because you don't want to break up those beans. Then I've got a quart of stock, and it doesn't, whatever you have, beef, turkey, chicken broth. I think this is actually duck broth. It's all gonna be good. It's just a quart of broth, and you can see in my pot that that's the perfect amount. Okay, now we're gonna get the lid on this and let it simmer for a good hour, hour and a half, let's say 70 to 90 minutes, and then dinner will be ready. We have some fresh bread that I picked up from the farmer's market this weekend. Sometimes it's so nice. I love making bread, but sometimes it's so much fun to get someone else's artisan sourdough bread to try it out. And we went to the Dallas farmer's market, which is always so much fun. And so I have a artisan sourdough bread from them, and then I also have our favorite tortilla chips. And this man is getting a website. So as soon as he does, I'm going to start advertising for him because his stuff is amazing. And he uses non-hydrogenated oil to cook them in, so they're healthy. They're made with non-GMO ground corn, just a great tortilla chip, and they last forever. I keep them in a Tupperware tight sealed container, and they last for a good 4 weeks. He says they would last longer than that, but we eat them up before the 4 weeks. But anyway, they last a long time, so I am going to start once he gets his website up, so you all could try them. They're delicious. All right, we're going to let this simmer, and we'll be back. Okay, so it has been simmering on the stove for about 30 minutes. So I'm going to do a taste test. I've let this kind of cool off. Okay, that is delicious. You can taste the Mexican oregano. It has just this almost like a sweet, it's not like Italian oregano. It's so yummy. Anyway, we are going to have a great dinner. I will post pics with the toppings that everyone chooses. But I hope you have a great Monday, and thanks for being in the kitchen with me, and we'll see you tomorrow.